Welcome to Harry's Gym Chat. We're in my gym and we're going to chat. Now, is a podcast powered by USN. We've got some exclusive offers for you that we are going to be giving away a little later in the video. But at the same time, we are on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. We're going to be talking about everything health and wealth and fitness, but also all things positive, because I'm a positive guy, I'm a big guy. We're keeping it fun and friendly. So look, jump in, turn the volume up, and let's do this. What's happening, people? Harry AA here with some husky tones. Believe it or not, my voice is going through it. Typical in a podcast, but I couldn't not do this because I've got a very, very special guest. We are talking about the one and only Perri Shakes-Drayton, Olympian, world medalist. We're talking European champion, all sorts of accolades, as well as super mum, celebrity. What? I'm just gonna keep going. Do you know what I mean? But Perri, look, here we are. We're in my gym,
yes,
and we're chatting.
Yes.
How are we feeling? We're here.
I'm good. Finally, I'm in this famous gym that I always see on your Instagram. I mean, how many years has it been, Harry, since I've seen you? It's like, I'm sure it's been like, look, over 3 years. I mean, only today I'm meeting your daughter. Like, what is going on?
Do you know what? Life just comes at you so fast. And I mean, this is the point. So for everyone listening and watching, what you've got to understand is me and Perri go so far back. We're talking, what, World Juniors in 2006?
In China, yes.
Gosh, that's when I see Perri. And I'm telling you for a fact, back in those days, you don't realise how young and innocent you are.
Yeah, but we thought we was grown and we knew
grown.
everything.
Staying up past our bedtime.
Trust me.
Doing the worst.
You know what, Harry? I would call you the gadget man. You put me on cameras, laptop. I think there was like a small laptop, miniature one. You had one. I got one in white. Harry is the gadget man, and he continues to be the gadget man.
Well, this is when certain people, obviously, we're going to touch on social media and transitions into different planes of work. Mm-hmm. Now, I've always had some form of enjoyment with cameras, with photos, with technology, right? So when things like social media came up to the upfront, it did come naturally to me. So you are someone that has a large social media following. How has that helped you? And, would you say that you wish that sort of stuff, in a certain sense, came in earlier in your career of athletics?
Do I think it should have come earlier? Well, to be quite with you, it may have been a detriment to performance. I like the fact that we were kind of we had the early stage of it. When I look back, my photos quality was dead. Videos weren't a thing at the time. It was all about photos and very much a lot of editing, and you're not looking like yourself. And in terms of training, I wasn't very insightful. You wouldn't know. But nowadays, I notice that a lot of athletes are sharing their journey. I feel like there's this pressure. And I like the fact that I was training in the background. You wouldn't see much. Maybe see me in a newspaper article.
Ninja.
And then when it comes to performance, when it came to performance, that done the talking.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that I've had life where there wasn't much social media, and then now I'm in that bubble. I love it.
Yeah, you're on it.
Harry, like you, we love the camera. I feel like when the camera's on, we switch on.
Yeah.
I definitely very similar in that sense. Background athletics, but we have personality and we like to show
People
off.
have always said that about us. So when we reflect upon our early days of athletics, and let's talk about that, because some people don't realise what we went through. Like, we actually went through it. We're talking, me and Perri, we're talking 2006 World Juniors. Where did you finish in those World Juniors? Because you were doing...
I came 8th.
4 hurdles then, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And you were one of the younger ones as well, competing against the olders. So what people don't understand in these categories is the World Juniors was like under 20s, but I was 17, you would have been 17, 16.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're competing against 19-year-olds. I was fortunate enough to come away with a gold medal. Great. Obviously, that's what Harry does. Perri was this, this East London girl that I was just like, who is this? Because, and you were just like, yeah, Harry, what's going on? And you're like, what? You were so raw. And then that's when, you could see that you were turning into some fine cut diamond, because come 2009 on European under 23s, you did a madness there.
Yes, remind me. It was Europeans, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
in Lithuania.
In Lithuania,
Yeah.
yes.
You did the madness there. And then that's when I started to see the rise of, Perri Shakes a lot. That's what I used to call her. Yeah. And then obviously it was Europeans 2010 that you got your first senior sort of like...
Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where you were like, cool, I'm here.
Yes, that's where I made it.
Yeah.
Showed everyone who I was.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so like from this like sort of raw diamond, we're talking like you're on the international stage having to, because it was, the 4 hurdles was your main love in it.
Yes.
And was it 2011 or 2012 that you hurt your knee?
2013.
2013 is when you hurt your knee. And at this point, we knew you as this ferocious 4 hurdler that used to put everything out on the track.
Yeah, no matter what distance.
What?
No matter what distance, my coach got me to do... Listen, I'm dying at the line. I remember I'd done an 800 metres
I
indoors.
remember. And I was like, why is Perri doing 4 laps?
I was always surprising people, like, what distance? And everyone would be like, what is she doing today? I was one of them kind of athletes. What's she going to do? I tried 60 indoors.
But what was your mindset like around that? If coach said, this is what we're doing,
listen,
would you just be like, cool?
I'm doing it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Straight up?
No questions, no back chat, nothing. Is that what I need to do? To be the best, I'm going to do it. That was kind of my mentality.
Where does that mindset come from though? Because not every, I've been thrown into a 4 before, and as much as I stepped on the line, my knees were like, they were shaking, boy.
You know what? I feel like sprinters, right? Because you could say, well, I'm a quarter miler, yeah?
Yeah.
Sprinters, you not like going above your distance. You do not.
It's facts.
Me,
It's facts.
But my background also was a distance runner. I first got introduced into the sport as a cross country. I used to do cross country.
That makes sense because the way you run, everything's compact. You can roll. When there's a fluency of movement, you've always had that natural flowing movement, which allows you, especially you see it expressed over the 400. So that in itself, what would you say is your favourite distance then?
You know what? I really enjoyed the 200.
Yeah?
I enjoyed the 200 because it's like, listen, my turnover is not quick. My start is crap. But I'm going to come through and come off the bend. And that's how, having the speed of a 200 helped me with the 400 meters.
Yeah.
And then obviously the 400 meter hurdles, that was a new skill that I had to learn. It was hard, learning a new skill. When people would commentate on me, they always had something to say about my technique.
Yeah.
I never had good technique. It was raw. It was just like, just go for it. Get over it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And then what was it? Was it 2013 when European Indoors, when you got their medals? Yes. That was it in Sweden.
Yes.
Gothenburg.
Gothenburg, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The 400 metres and a 4x4 relay.
Yeah, double gold.
Hey, on the same day though. One was in the morning.
Lactic Central.
Jesus. Hey, I remember my recovery. As soon as I finished that 400 metres, that was it. I was in the hotel, eat, ice bath, sleep, I'm going again.
Yeah.
And I think from that success, that carries you. You get confident. It's like, I've done this. I've already been. I'm going to go again for another one.
Yeah.
And, to bring home another gold medal, with the team, it was like, this is amazing.
So would you say that's one of your biggest highlights of your career?
Yes, that is. Because obviously I was doing 400 metres. I was a 400 metre hurdler.
Yeah.
But also I'm going to say, to call myself an Olympian is a highlight. No, I never got a gold medal. No, I never got a medal. But to be an Olympic Games... Your home one as well. Not many people get to see they've done that. That's a proud moment for me. At the time, trust me, I was gutted because I never made the final. I was upset. But then when I reflect on things, I was like, no, definitely hold my head up high.
So 2 solid years, but that 2012 highlight and disappointment, obviously, like you said, in the time, spurred you on to do, literally, if Olympics were in August, by March of 2013... So what we're talking 9 months, if that, or 6 months or so, you're literally talking about how you did a madness in between that time, trained, and then became Queen of Europe indoors.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
And I've been, and this is what I mean, it's so, it's amazing for me because I've seen you. I was there. Everything that you're saying, I was there. Yeah. So I remember when we obviously have these highs, lows do follow. And obviously 2013 is when you hurt your knee, right? Yeah. So how do you sort of deal with going from one to the other when you're, For me, I remember it was my World Juniors. I was World Junior Champion. Then the next thing you know, I was in a back brace the next year. So you didn't see me at European Juniors. What was that like for you, going from such a high to knowing that something's not right and I need to try and figure out a way to get through this?
That was definitely my darkest moment in my career. Because everyone sees me as this bubbly person. Perri's always smiling. And yes, that is how I, wanted to be perceived. But I was going through it. I didn't like watching the sports. Don't turn on that TV. Don't care what's going on.
It's difficult.
Don't want to see results. Because I was like, I can run faster than that person.
Yeah.
I should be there. Honestly, that's how I felt. It was like, and then going through the rehab as well, which took, 4 years?
Yeah.
You'd be going, well, I'm walking now. Oh, I'm jogging. I'm running. Then you get knocked back.
Yeah.
It was like, no, this is hard. And I used to celebrate every little bit of progress that I made. But then you get knocked back down again. And it's like...
It's difficult.
Yeah, I'm like... And then also, I know of other athletes who had injuries and came back. And that kept me going, Harry. I was like... And if that person can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, I was definitely...
I didn't want that. I didn't want no negativity. I didn't want to hear anybody tell me about this knee injury that they had and how long it took them. don't tell me about your story. Me and you are different.
Yeah.
So I was just like this.
It's facts though. It's facts. I remember 2010 with myself. I tore my semi-tendon behind my knee, world indoors. I was winging out that year, ran 6:55. So I was ranked 5th going into the World Championships that year, indoors. And I've done the tendon, and a lot of people have told me that a lot of athletes never came back from that. I mean, I was at the World Championships the next year. Yeah. I took the year out, and then I came back the next year, the same with the back brace. And I think we hold the key. We hold a lot of positives in and around our own narrative. So that positivity you talk about, I think that's where we're so aligned. Yeah. Have you always had that positivity in you?
Yes, I would say that. Don't get me wrong. There'll be a negative thought in my mind or doubt. I'll have that. But then I'm like, when you fall into that trap, it's not
difficult. I've always got a mantra. I say doubt kills. And I try, and I don't know, there's weird things that you might do on the start line, yeah? So for me, I would shake my head. Okay. And the reason why I shake my head like that sometimes is because I'm shaking away the doubt. If I have a bad thought in my head, I shake my head.
Okay.
I say no. Not today, no.
Okay.
And then, sometimes you don't realise how anxious you are. When you're on that start line, you're ready to go. And then you're starting to think, but what if? But what if I can't? And then you start to go, actually, and I go, quick, shake. No, not today. Because that's what I mean, that moment of doubt. So, cool. So the thing is with 4 years of rehab, what I found can affect a lot of athletes in that perception is a perspective of knowing that not only have you got to get back, but you got to get back to where you were and potentially be better. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's think about when I did eventually come back. So 2016, I tried to come back. We had the Olympic Games in Rio. I injured myself again. It was my thigh. Had to go surgery. And I've got a big scar that I'm forever reminded, yeah? And I was like, nah, it's not happening. Anyway, 2017, I came back for the World Championships in London. And I was upset because I'm like, I've come back, but I've come back to do relay. I'm an individual runner. So then I was like, I'm back, but I'm really not the same person. I'm not the same athlete, should I say.
I was so happy to see you back, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I was so happy because I got my dance partner back. Yeah. We didn't know about me and Perri. Yeah, it was on the dance floors. We were dropping out.
Dance floor? Yeah. You mean hotel room? Remember? South Africa.
Oh, Harry. Yeah. We were vibing.
Listen.
Vibing.
Everyone talks about Amapiano right now. Yeah. Listen, we were South African deep house lovers, yeah?
Black coffee back in the day. Yeah. Oh, man.
Lucy. That was us, you know what I mean? Always, we knew how to switch off,
yes.
As much
we knew how to enjoy life.
Yes.
In those moments. And like you said, there'll be a few of us in a room, play some music, and we're just being vibing.
Simple
Look at where we are. Look how we enjoying ourselves. Little girl from East London, little boy from South London. We're just in South Africa on a fully paid trip to train. Come on, we're living life.
Right, but often I didn't look at things that way, Harry. That's where I would sometimes go wrong, because I was always chasing what's next, instead of being like, nah, sit back, take in, like you say, the surroundings. And I feel like that only came in later on in my career. After I'd injured myself, that's when I would reflect and realise, no, you've done a lot. Like, give yourself a round of applause. But when you're in the moment, often you forget, compare yourself to too many people and other people's performances. Like, no, that's not how you're meant to think, because we're all different journeys. Exactly. So
that's what I'm saying. You don't realise, but that's sort of a compliment to yourself, because you're an athlete who was achieving so much so young. And I feel like every year you were PBing, you were breaking record. You had your battles with Ailey, like, you know, it was who was faster, because one would get a PB, then you'd get the PB. And, you know, there's a consistent progression for you. That's why you could look forward. Yeah. And unfortunately, we do have injuries where we are part of the 1% where we are literally doing so much. We're lifting, running, throwing, jumping. People don't know how athletes train. When they say to me, oh, what, do you just run around in a circle, or what do you do to train? We're conditioning, we're doing Pilates, we're doing so much. So when these injuries occur, we need 100% of ourselves. We can't step on a pitch. Unless you're Usain Bolt and you're 2 tenths ahead of everyone else, that you might be able to come and jump and run a 9.8 and win a championship, but you don't have that allowance.
And we can't have a bad day. We cannot rely on anybody.
No.
Like, if you're on a team sport, if you're having a bad day, someone else might have to do a bit more for you. You, as an individual athlete in athletics, we can't
do that. So then, now that we've sort of like stamped on the athletic side, 2017, 2018, you started to waver through the seasons. You were just still trying to get your groove back, right? Yeah, you were in and about everywhere that you needed to be. But when did the transition come into where we're about to go? When did you start to think about life outside of athletics?
So I changed coach towards the end of my career. I said to myself, I'm not going to leave the sport, not saying shoulda, coulda, let's try something else. And I wanted a change of scenery. So I went over to the States, tried it for a year.
And what year was this?
I'm going to say 2018. I'm really rubbish with dates. Yeah, everything just sinks into one. And yes, I tried it out there. And you know what, I'll be honest with you, you know what made me think I need to switch things up? I'm spending more money than I'm making. Yeah. When you get to that reality, it's like, sorry, this is not worth it anymore. Yeah. Sorry. And then I said, I'm going to give it a try. Obviously, I went to the trials. Sorry, I done a pull-in. I said, this isn't me. Yeah. This isn't me. And I'm not going to leave in a way that I'm just like, I'm not going to leave, again, be forced out of the sport. I'm going to make this decision. And then my husband went on a show, a reality TV show in Nigeria. So I spent some time in Nigeria.
How did you find that culture?
Oh, I love it. I loved it. And I must say, it wasn't the first time I experienced that culture. Yes, first time experienced Nigeria. Yeah. But I went to school with Nigerians. Definitely embraced the culture. I went to weddings. My best friend, she's Nigerian. So from primary school, I was introduced to the food and things like that. Music, everything. So embracing that, going to that, I was like, oh, I love this. And I was like, but if I'm here, I can't train and do what I need to do if I want to be the top of my game. So I said, you know what? I'm enjoying life here, you know. It's all about being happy. I was happy there. I said, nah, this sport thing, I'm done. Yeah? And I spoke to him, but I remember making a decision. I may smile about it now, but I cried. Oh, Perri. Because athletics is what made me.
Yeah. Is that your first love?
Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, I'm going to have to make an announcement. How am I going to tell the fans and everything? And I was like, well, it's actually a sad moment. Because I'm no longer going to be training.
It's like an end of a relationship, innit?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's not you, it's me. Yeah.
No, it's true. That's it, right. Oh my God, I was writing down my love letter. And I was like, you know, oh, mate. And I did do that. I had to inform whoever you need to inform to say you're gonna, make the announcement and stuff. And it was just like, the feedback you get is lovely and stuff. And I was like, okay, right, done with that. I'm done with athletics. What am I gonna do next? But I didn't put that pressure on me. I said, you know what? I've made so many sacrifices with the sport. I'm going to enjoy life.
Nice.
And I meant that in the sense that I'm going to eat what I want.
Come the food.
When I go out and people say, do you want a drink? I'll have a drink because I was that person. No, sir, I don't drink. People wouldn't invite me out, Harry, because she's training. She ain't going to come. You know what I mean?
But what people don't know, though, is that athletes can have a good time even though without the alcohol.
But let me tell you something. I was that person. No, I can't drink. It's going to affect my performance. I was like that, but really, you can enjoy it with your head down, please.
Maybe I did a little bit too often because I was one of them ones. You know me. People will think I'm drunk, but I'm not.
But I don't need to drink.
That's what I'm saying.
I've got energy for you. I don't need to drink to be.
I'll bring the vibes.
I'll do a dance.
Yes, I'll bring
I'm
the
not going to
vibes.
be like extortionate. I'm actually.
If anything, stay on the dance floor. That way you don't have to have a drink in your hand, innit?
No, another thing. Listen, the way I'll dance on a dance floor, it was like a workout.
Yes.
Especially growing up when we used
Burning
to
calories.
funky house and stuff. You're sweating.
Sweating it out. I used to bring a hanky out with me. I used to dab my forehead. What? These times you'll come out, I'll be leaving lighter. I'm telling you. Leaving lighter. And my bank balance is fine because I ain't bought no drinks.
They're the best nights. Oh, you know what? Tell her like, oh my God, my best night on the track, right? On the circuit was World Championships 2009 in Berlin.
Yeah.
I didn't spend a penny. They was like, get in that car, book, we're going to this location. Book. I was like,
When next, guys? I like this. Mate, this is what I'm saying though. When you actually reflect, you're living life in these random places. But this is what I do wish, when I asked you earlier about the inception of, social media, I wish I vlogged it all. Genuinely, because I was snapping. If you go on my laptop now, when I always have my laptop, I was always taking pictures, right? I've got some pictures of us from going so far back. I've got pictures from that Berlin 2009 World Champs. Like, I've got images of these things. I've got images that I won't share because some people won't be happy in nightclubs. You look in the background and you're like, wow, that person was active. But we're seeing so much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if we had vlogged all that, like, guys, like, genuinely, you're 19 years old. I was jumping on planes and not telling my parents where I was going because I bought my house in Loughborough. By that point, it was just like, oh, I'm in France. Oh, you want me to come to China? Okay, I'm in China. Oh, and this is all within 1 week. Yeah. I mean, we didn't live the luxurious life.
I wish I would have vlogged it. At that time, listen, the way I like to vlog now, if I would have vlogged, the traveling, the training.
And how surprising it would have been. Like, people like, yeah, but you fly first class. Boy, I was in the back of the plane, EasyJet. From one place, you'll be doing 3 connections just to get to Germany. Yeah. And then from then, like, some people will put you up nicely. But the thing is with athletics, people don't recognise it's a poor man's sport. Yeah. Anyone can do it. And to be treated in a type of way, you've got to be the best of the best. Yeah. We're talking about that. We're the 1% in the world. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a European medalist. I'm a world medalist. I've got accolades, but you're still one of many. Yeah. So therefore, it's only those guys that have won something that get that sort of treatment. Yep. Now, I find it so funny that people don't realise that, like, when we travel to these random places, luckily there's a lot of Brits on the circuit. But what makes me laugh is the fact that you open the door, it's a lottery. You don't know who you're sharing with. You don't know who you're sharing with. You're hoping they're British. You're turning up for a competition. So you've just travelled from Stansted Airport, which took you 2 hours to get to because it's not in London. And then next thing you know, you fly to some random country, wherever that might be in Europe. And then you're tired. You've got to compete the next day. You have a quick bit of food because once you've touched down, you've got to wait for everyone to get everything. Yeah. And then as you go to open the door, you're like, I hope it's someone I know.
Right. Trust me, how many times I've been to a room and I was like, is anyone there? Am I the first one? I always want to be the first one because you want to bag the bed, innit? Like,
the best bed.
That was one thing. And then you say, do they speak English? That's one thing. Do they do my event? If you're doing my event, I don't want to share with you. Sorry, listen, I'm not into this small talk. I don't want to. You know what's funny, yeah? I see athletes, they all have a perception of me, like, especially my competitors. They were like, this girl never spoke. I don't think I was that friendly. I don't think I was.
No, but you can switch on and off. Because I appreciate the similarity. Like, I would quite happily sit. I remember one time sharing with some Russian dude, or Ukrainian, just someone from Eastern Europe, and they obviously don't really speak English. So in that moment, I just sat there and I was like, I'm cool with this because I don't have to force the small talk. I don't actually have to make a point of, we just knew, like, obviously this is what we don't realize, like, my guy's gonna go use the bathroom. So I needed to try to figure out when I could use the bathroom because it's competition day. When are you gonna shower? When can I go?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll grab my towel and just show him and be like, I'm going in. And I'll show him a timer like 30 minutes and he'll give me a thumbs up and I'm like, cool, so I'm going in. These are the raw aspects of what you're doing. Negotiating when you can use these things.
Yep. I think I sometimes would actually go downstairs and use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was especially...
When
the belly's hot and rumbling.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you know what? Something that I learned to travel with, this is not an ad, but there was like a spray for the loo.
Yeah. Asher introduced me to that.
I introduced Asher to it.
Listen, Perri, you don't need to embarrass yourself. Just in the toilet.
Yeah. But I'm with you though. I'd still make a point of going to the lobby or something. These are the struggles. These are the real life struggles. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, as real as it is, like, I would have vlogged all this and people would have then been like, "Raw, so this is how you are actually getting about." There's a luxury, because when you go to Olympics, you're treated like kings and queens. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's nice.
McDonald's in the village.
24-hour food. If someone's always like, do you need help? If anything you needed was there.
And this is where being British helped. Like, I remember, what was it? 2016, for example, all of our furniture, we're talking DFS, you know? We got the Boris bikes, you know? The Brits had everything. We were riding around the village. The village is a big place. You're riding around, loving life. Then there'd be this place, that place that you can go to. And the holding camps. Oh, Perri, the holding camps. Do you remember the one in 2011 in Daegu?
We got spoiled.
Oh my God.
We was in Korea.
Yeah. It was South Korea.
Yes.
So we were in Ulsan.
Yes, you remember it good.
What? I remember everything, Perri.
That
holding camp. Do you remember whenever we came back from training, they would be outside. Everyone would be outside. And then they'll be waving us in.
Yeah.
Waving. Every day. 3 times a day. And here we are. My favourite part in the podcast where we get to give back. We're talking about that exclusive offer just for you. It's going to be HGC, Perri. Now, go fill up your baskets, sort yourself out. Enjoy. USN, fueling the podcast. Let's go. And on that note, things are spicing up. Perri had to take her jacket off. Do you know what I mean? We're getting warm in here. We're getting warm. So look, everyone sort yourself out at home, but we're going to continue now. So look, athletics in itself is our first love. Yeah, we're laughing about it because when you actually really look back, the memories you have. But now, you mentioned about going to Nigeria when, you know, Mike was on a particular show, and we talk about the culture. Did you know how to greet people?
Yes.
The bow.
You bow.
How low could you go? Because the lower you go is more respectful, right?
Yeah. I think I was a bit like, you know, unsure. So I was like, little bow, but yeah. Yeah, I was doing all that.
Because your background, you're Caribbean, Jamaican?
Yes, Jamaican Grenadian.
Yes, so what's the differences in a Nigerian household and a Jamaican household, for example?
Well, I do know, obviously, referring to someone by their first name is not really the one you do.
That's why we got so many aunties and uncles.
Oh, and this isn't the same.
I'm Ghanaian, so it's similar but different, yeah?
So you don't refer to your elder by their first name. Everyone, like you say, is auntie and uncle. Even Matthew has adopted that. Listen, if you meet someone, everyone is, hello auntie, hello uncle. And it's just a sign of respect. And you get some people like, is that person related to you? No, they're not related to me. It's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, food is different.
Yeah.
But obviously...
Eating with the hands and that, with the egusi and the fufu and the...
Not really my go-to.
Yeah.
I kind of stick with the jollof rice, you know, and the chicken and plantain, yeah? Not plantain.
We can have this argument all day long. I'm going to say plantain, yeah? Bring me the plantain, yeah? Bring it here, plantain.
But so they can understand, if I was ordering food at a restaurant, I would say plantain.
Yeah, did that hurt you to say?
Yeah, oh my God, it was so forced. I felt so uncomfortable. I still do.
Your Jamaican roots were like, what are you doing? What happened with you?
Fix up.
Planting. That hurts me to say. So look, But off the back of that, this is like for the two of you, like something that just came beautifully because, you know, he showed a lot of you on the show, spoke about you, your socials grew. And then when was it that you were on Dancing on Ice? Was it after that?
2017, before.
Yeah, it was before that. That's what I'm trying to say, because you were doing things. So when you were on 2017 Dancing on Ice, this is the start of a new career, socials.
Correct.
Were you not scared of your knee, by the way?
Harry, of course I was scared. But you know what I said to myself? I could walk down the street and hurt myself.
Fair.
So this is an opportunity. Yes, I'm going to take it. I've been out of the sport for so many years. So obviously it was like, I asked my coach. He was like, no, I don't think you should do it. And then obviously my agent's like saying, oh, do you want to do it? I said, you know what, Perri? You're a big girl now. You're going to make this decision yourself.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to do it. And I said to my partner on the show, I said to him, listen, don't try and do no extravagant stuff with me. Just keep me safe in one piece. Because obviously after that, I went to the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast.
Yeah, we were there.
So I was like, you know, listen, I still got to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just played it really safe.
I love that.
Yeah. And
so what, in terms of being an athlete in that situation, did it help you? So there's a TV show, you got a live audience, you got to perform, you got to remember a routine. Did your training, did your background, like, were there transferable skills in that moment?
I mean, whenever there was a time where maybe I had to hold myself up in a position when I was dancing, being an athlete helped. But on these shows, listen, they don't want to see the phenomenal athlete. They want to actually see you struggle.
You want to see you fall. Dancing on ice, we always look forward to a fall. Because let's be real, dancing on ice is, you can't become the best ice skater. I think Niall, one of the Olympics,
yes.
He was able to actually show out.
Yeah.
He was able to do a madness because he's got the gymnastic background, come with the balance, boom.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, yeah, you're not going to become the most amazing ice skater overnight. You're going to improve. So as the audience, I can't lie, when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, are they going to fall?
Yeah.
Oh, are they going to fall? And if they do, it's just part of the laugh. We're not laughing at them, we're laughing with them, innit? So
right?
It's entertainment.
Because you know, it is hard. Don't get me wrong. As a child, I used to go ice skating with my cousins on the weekend. But I would always play it safe.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing, when you'd
Fingers.
Fingers. We always got taught that.
Pull them in.
So I definitely just kept within my comfort, weren't even trying to do nothing phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, when I leave, I get the same paycheck.
Yeah, boy. And let's talk about that because, all right, cool. Let's talk about that because you've done Dancing on Ice. When you got married, yeah, you're on an okay deal, yeah. I'm talking now, you've done a few other shows, one that we might touch on, little SAS. You've been active and you've done a few paid ads. What's the money like in comparison to athletics? Let's be real.
The money is definitely better.
Yeah, and in terms of...
Okay, every athlete is different. I'm going to say it like this. Now, if you're doing well and you get sponsors, being a competing athlete, you're nice. But some people actually have to work a job whilst training.
And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of our sport. A few of us included, the two of us sat here, we were able to actually just be able to concentrate on our sport.
Yeah.
We had the sponsors, we had the investment, we were in a good place, you know. We're able to, but when you can actually see that your training partners who aren't far behind you are just coming back from a job or just doing something like that. And I think the most rewarding thing about doing some form of socials and being in a different aspect or working on some shows is it makes you realise your worth. And I don't think athletes understand their worth. The fact that there's so many of you, but you're all amazing, unique athletes, whether you're British champions or British medalists, you're being made to feel like you haven't achieved. Yeah. I've been around individuals that, I remember a world junior champion a few years ago, she was telling me how, when I've achieved something, I said, you've already achieved something. You've won a world. If this was the equivalent in football, for example, you would be on a multi-million deal with a club right now and doing a madness, but we belittle ourselves. So what I like about doing different types of work is it makes you realise the amount of effort you put in for certain paychecks. Yeah. It is not corresponding for the way that I used to put in effort and the accolades that I got. You could win a European medal and someone be like, okay, cool, we need you to do something else. Yeah. To secure yourself to... What?
Yeah, what more do you want me to do? Yeah, I've done
and
that.
And that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah. So when you look at the workload and the relevance, did you then understand your worth?
Yes. exactly that. Like I said to you, when I decided to retire as well, I was like, I'm spending more than making. This ain't right. And obviously I already had a feel of a bit of the TV where I could earn and things like that. And it didn't require me using my body as much. It's now like, to me, I've done the work, you know, in terms of like, I've been to Olympic Games, whatnot, world champion. But then people saw other sides of me, be that my personality, and me just being myself. And I'm getting other opportunities. And I haven't got to put as much effort in. But I'll be honest with you, it's not always as consistent as you may want it to be. You know, it's like you get opportunities, yeah, you get your payment, but then when's the next one? That's something that the situation.
Would you say that's similar to athletics, though?
It is as well, because if you don't perform on the track, we're not getting the money. If you get injured, your money's getting deducted.
Mate, some people don't know about these contracts. They're brutal. 50% reduction if you don't see a year. Imagine 50% of what you're earning. I remember having my back injury, and then they tried to, you know, conversations started talking about 50% reduction just because you're hurt for that year.
Yeah.
And then equally now, so when we look at the front of, you have a son, wonderful Matthew, beautiful boy. Would you have been able to envision having a child whilst being an athlete? Because firstly, your sponsors weren't backing you at the time in the way that they're doing now. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously now there's finally, thanks to people like Alison Felix, athletes that are allowing, you know, putting themselves out there so that females can actually freeze their contracts when they do get, you know, once they do get pregnant and then have a baby. They're given the opportunity to actually be able to have children whilst they're young, as opposed to having to make a decision if they want to do either or. So with that in mind, now that you're a mother, could you have, you know, we've got a good friend between us, Bianca Williams. She's got Zuri and she's doing amazingly. You know, her bounce back has been mad. Like,
incredible.
You know, incredible to see her running PBs, close to PBs, doing everything that she can. Do you feel that you would have liked to have tried to have had Matthew earlier, or, you know, where now that you're on this side of it, where's your head at with that?
I definitely said to myself, I wouldn't have wanted to be a mother whilst competing, because I wanted to be there around for my son. And I say that in a sense of, listen, the training tires you out, you're exhausted. Now I've got to go back home to a child to look after. I don't think I'll be able to do that unless you have the support. You've got to have the community, the family to be there to, you know, maybe travel with your child. But still, sorry, I need to focus. When I'm going on my journeys, I wouldn't want my son to be around me in that sense. Yes, it's great that they've changed it and made it, you know, easier for mothers and stuff, not having to think, oh my God, I'm not going to have the money and stuff. That is great. But me personally, that chapter of being an athlete was very selfish. It was all about me. Then now I'm in a chapter, I'm a mother now, and I'm thinking about my son. And, you know, he comes most places with me. I think to myself, you know, how is it going to benefit him? I think about his future. When it comes to food, he's taking my food, you know? Do you want it? Before I wouldn't want to share my food, but now I'm like, son, you can have it, you know? Yeah. So life has definitely much changed for me. It's like, I don't worry about little minor things. I feel like as an athlete, I would worry about the most silliest of things. It's like, sorry, that is really not my priority now.
It's not a big deal.
No, it's my family now, new chapter. I'm a wife, you know, married, husband, Yeah. Life has changed, and I'm happy. I think I've got more happier times now. Even just to see my son's face, you know, even though he wakes me up at 7 o'clock in the morning, Mummy, let's play. I'm like, wow, you know, this is someone who I'm responsible for. You know,
that rewarding feeling.
It really is, Harry.
And is that how you've internalized it? You seem like someone that's really embraced it.
Yeah, because to me, I'll be like, me, a mum, me. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, definitely. One, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm a mother. And you talk about, you know, athletes doing well. I think age is another thing. Listen, like, you know, mid-30s now. I don't think I would see myself still, you know, competing, or even before I even Matthew. That time, I always said to myself, around 31-ish was the time I want to hang up my spikes. Because, I feel like I want to enjoy life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how I saw
it. And the thing that you said, athletes being selfish is not a bad thing, because it's a selfish sport.
Yeah.
You need to be selfish. You need to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, when you're doing it. And me, as I'm still competing now, you know, once Aubrey came along, for me personally, I was just like, wow, my whole perception on life and, like you said, what matters changes. All of a sudden, I'm looking at this. I used to travel for bants. I'd go away for 2 months to a warm weather training camp, whereas now I'm like, I don't really want to go anywhere. And it's because you want to make sure they're okay. You've got to teach. I didn't realise how much I would have to teach this little person. And we're talking about, me, I'm athletic, I can jump. Obviously, I'm micro-coaching. I'm having to teach her how to jump. These little people don't know how to do anything, and you have to teach them so much. So I find it so endearing when I do see athletes able to balance both, thrive at both, and do everything in the way they do, because you know what? I can only salute you. And as a female, as a female as well, being able to, actually give birth, bounce back, and thrive whilst being a parent, I say, do you know what? That is, I salute you, man.
Yeah, it's not.
I salute you.
Even though I've retired, I still like to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like it makes me feel good. I like to look in the mirror and be like, nah, I look good. Yeah. I've got the reminder, in terms of my skin.
Me and you, we both like a mirror, man.
I was like, oh my God, I've been through all of this. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to still have that confidence about me, even though life has changed for me, I don't get to work out as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
It's just like...
What does that side look like then? If you're not working out as much, when are you trying? What are you doing to stay fit and how? So for anyone listening that wants to follow Perri's workout routine, let's talk about it.
So I'm very fortunate enough to have a gym in my house. And if I don't want to be in the gym, which is outdoors and it's cold, I like to do HIIT workouts inside my living room. Now Matthew's at an age he wants to be copying trying to do it with me. I tried different classes, so I like the reformer.
Yeah, Pilates, boy. Woo! You see me? I love a Pilates reformer.
Oh, Harry,
I love it.
There's that burn. You see that burn?
Yeah.
That machine? Because I used it actually as part of my rehab when I was in Loughborough. So I remember it from then. And now I'm like, I actually really like this. I ride my bike. I still go for runs.
Nice. 5Ks?
Yeah, I done a marathon.
Oh, damn, Perri. Wow, what was that like?
I really loved it.
No! See me?
Yeah.
I'm dead after 5K, No. I'm thinking, what were you thinking during that time?
You couldn't think. And let me tell you something. I had a playlist.
Yeah.
Who listened to the music? Because the crowd are so amazing. Listen, people calling your name. Go on, Perri. Because you have your bib on. Not that they know who I was, but my name's big written on my chest. And like, go on, Perri. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I've done it with my brother.
Yeah.
And we built a closer relationship as well. The fact that I
trained for it.
Yes. Yeah. So I really loved it. I was in my hometown, running through the city. Sorry, I liked it. And I would do another one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I look forward to your training. You can let me know how that goes. Because I won't be doing anything. Not that you're asking me to, just letting you know. So look, when you're talking about training and some of the hardest things you've done, you've recently appeared on a TV show, SAS. Who Dares? Yeah, all of that madness.
Yeah.
Was it really that tough?
Harry.
Give me a number out of 10.
Listen, the thing was... 10 out of 10. It was brutal.
Brutal.
Let me tell you something. When your coach gives you your program, you know how many sets. You know how many reps. You know that the session is not going to continue after a certain amount of hours. They know we need to stop. No. When we're going for hikes, I'm wearing a bag which they call a Bergen, which is 20 kg.
Damn.
You're telling me to hike up some hill with this bag on my back. And then when you get to the top, find your way back down. There's no, we've got a car to bring you back. You're using your legs. You're waking me up with 3 hours sleep to go and do a circuit at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. You're feeding me basics. Harry, the thing is brutal. I'm in conditions of rain. I'm in a jungle. It's hot.
It looked like it's just hot and wet.
Hot and wet.
How can it be? So like, were you ever dry?
No. And I've got 2 pairs of clothes that I can change into.
Well, so what was your, something that never comes through on the TV? Yeah?
Go on.
It smells.
Yeah, I stank. I got told by the DS, you effing stink. I don't want to swear. Listen, we all smelled. Harry, listen, we were able to brush our teeth. They gave us a bar of soap. I used that same soap to wash under my actual armpits and the armpits of my top. I had 2 armpits. One you had to keep dry. You wasn't keeping it dry. You haven't got time for it to dry. You hang it out. You've got to wait the next morning. Harry, it was stinky, smelly.
That's the thing that doesn't come through on the TV, the smells. And the moisture, like, I don't think I could do, because I'm seeing you climb through one pipe that's wet. And then for me, after, and I know my daughter's taken this from me, because the moment I get wet, I have to take it off. It has to come off. Yeah? Anything I'm wearing, my socks especially, I can't have wet socks.
Oh, you would have struggled. I struggled. And I developed jungle foot.
Jungle foot? Is that
trench foot.
Trench foot.
Wait until you see the images. And I have ugly feet anyway, so imagine that times 10. Oh my gosh. Harry?
Bad.
It was bad.
So how did you get through it then? Like, are you like...
I'm not a quitter.
Could you answer back? Like, was you just biting your tongue the whole time?
I don't like when people shout at me. I honestly don't. I think I want to impress the DSs.
Yeah.
To show I can do this. That's what it was. That's the mentality that I had. So at times when I'm like, I want to stop. I'm not stopping. And you know what as well? Everybody else, me stop. All these other people who are not athletes, they're not giving up. So how can I give up? I'm very competitive.
Yeah, but that's what makes us.
So there was no way I would give up.
Do you know what I love about you, Perri?
What?
Something that from day dot, something that Perri has always done, yeah, your facial expressions. If Perri is thinking something, her face is showing it, yeah? There is no way that you could ever get away. The way that they're cut to you in your face, if you're feeling hurt for someone, the way your face is there going,
They captured, listen, Harry, I didn't have to say much. They said, Perri, your face just says it all. We know what you're going through. Listen, oh my God, they got me good. And I feel like my face gets me into trouble. People maybe get the wrong impression of me, and sometimes they're like, is she all right? Why is she making her face like that? Yeah, I'm probably thinking something.
You're thinking the brain's ticking.
I'm probably thinking something. They're cool.
So look,
they caught me.
So you made some good bonds on the show, yeah? Like, obviously seeing some people were there, having like cross-pollinated, as you would say. So obviously you're an athlete bringing the Olympian vibes. Who in there would you say that you like sort of had more respect for in a different world, you know? Like, you wouldn't have thought that you rate them as much.
Yes. Amber from Anyways, Essex.
Yeah.
Amber, glamorous lady, you know, came the part, looking good, you know. But she was a trooper. She really was. And turns out she used to do cross country. And she used to swim. So she's like, Perri, I was nowhere near your level, but she would work hard.
Okay.
She might complain, but Amber got stuck in. So she was one who really stood out to me.
Yeah.
She surprised me. I think one time we were doing a run and she went past me. I said, hey, no, not today.
Not today. Oh, Perri, man. So look, now that we're, you know, like we've touched on the jungle foot. We touched on the SAS. We touched on all this sort of stuff. What next? What's happening? What's our plans? What are we looking forward to?
What is next? Listen, I feel like I'm still figuring it out. But you know, I love being in front of the camera. You know, I'd love to be on.
We like seeing you in front of the camera.
I'd love to have a regular spot on TV. I've got some few TV shows that I would love to appear on.
Yeah.
I mean, I may have not done one of Danced on Ice, but Strictly give me a shout. No?
Yeah, man. Come on, come true.
Let me show you some to do.
Yeah. So, you know, speak it into existence. But if there's anything that you would say to your younger self, little Perri,
yeah,
what would you say to her?
I would say, don't doubt yourself, Perri. Anything that you want to do, go for it. Definitely. Yeah. Any idea you had, how crazy or mad it sounds, just go for it.
I love that.
Because I feel like the worst you're going to get told is no.
Yeah, facts. And do you know what? I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's just me being, you know, a bit older. But I think some people are too scared of no. Yeah. People are scared to hear the word no or some form of rejection. Yeah. So they prefer not to bother. And I don't know whether we come from an era where, you know, when I used to step on the line and race people, I didn't mind losing. It bothered me, but I just wanted to then do better. Because sometimes, you know, losing a race doesn't mean that you're not going to then get better. Yeah. You learn things. So some people don't necessarily like putting themselves in situations where they can lose. So they, you know, stay in a space. And I just feel like so many more people could sort of embrace messages like that.
Yeah.
Understanding where they can go, you know, and you saying no doesn't define you, you know.
And it's just like sometimes I think don't be comfortable. If you're in an environment where you're uncomfortable, that's kind of a good thing. That is a good thing. It's like, okay, all right, this ain't usually what I'm used to, but I've got to put myself out there, you know?
Yeah. Flex and flow. Flex and flow.
Flex and flow.
Oh, Perri, man. But look, I have got to say a big thank you for coming on. Everyone, make sure you give Perri a follow. Make sure you follow her journey because it's always exciting. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're always going to have a laugh. Yeah? So follow, subscribe. Perri, I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Always. I was always going to have one of my besties on. And look, there we go. To summarize it, enjoy. Make sure you comment. I'll see you later.